Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. Do the same with the Grizzly Gentleman, 10% off at checkout on your fantastic beard products. Or you could shop via the TCG Player affiliate link in the description down below to help support the show. And last but of course not least, you can go to Grey Viking Games with the affiliate link below to pillage some sweet arena codes. What is up, Planeswalkers? Pick 6, back for more Kaldheim. We're talking about more of the spoilers. Starting out with the Rune of Flight. So this is our first rune, I think. But I think there might only be 5 runes. Which is kind of lame if you ask me. 5 runes. I don't know. Seems kind of meh. Maybe we'll see more runes as time goes on. I like more things, you know, runes, shrines, sagas, you know, things like that. 2 mana, enchantment rune, enchanted permanent. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it has flying. As long as enchanted permanent is an equipment, it has equipped creature, has flying. So, if you really need the card draw, you can enchant a land. If you don't have an artifact, or an equipment, sorry, you could just give it to a creature to give it flying. Note, you still could draw a card. But if you have an equipment, regardless of whether or not it's attached to a creature, you can give it to the equipment to buff the equipment. I love the idea of buffing equipment by inscribing runes. I think that's very cool. I also think that generally speaking, this is safer. If you have the equipment, it's safer to put it on the equipment, especially if it's already equipped. Because your opponent is going to want to kill the creatures, right? If you have a creature that's equipped with something, and you Rune of Flight targeting the equipment, your opponent could deny you a card by destroying the equipment. But you still have the creature, and you can hit them in the face. I really like this card. I think it's very interesting. It still suffers from the whole aura issue of just 2-for-1ing yourself. They could have changed that by having this be on cast. I don't think it would have been too good on cast either. Right, because then you can't even like flicker this to get the value. I don't know. I like the design though. I like the runes so far. I don't know what the other ones are. Cinderheart Giant is a 7 mana, 7/6 giant berserker. Has trample. When it dies, it deals 7 damage to a creature an opponent controls chosen at random. This card is bad. Yes, it's 7 mana for a 7/6 with trample, and it has a decent dies ability. However, no, it does a thing at random, and it's 7 mana. Go away. King Harold's Revenge. 3 mana sorcery. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control, and gains trample. It must be blocked this turn if able. I think I'm thinking of the card Lure. Lure. This one, all creatures able to block enchanted creature. I want to see more Lure effects. We've seen plenty of the whole has to be blocked. I want to see more where like every creature has to be blocked. I guess the issue is that that leads to people just dying. Just dying. King Harold's Revenge. We will destroy the pretenders and reclaim the divinity of the Einar. Well, that's frightening. Target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. It gains trample. I mean, the fact that it gains trample is nice. It does have to be blocked, which makes the trample even better. I don't know. It's probably not good. Dusk Wielder is a 1 mana 1/2 elf berserker. It's black, has boast for a single mana. Generic. Target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's a berserker. It works hilariously with the Dragon Man. It's just a free boast if you have the Dragon Man. Wait, Dragon Man did care about other boasts, right? Fudge, I think so. Breakneck Berserker is a 3-mana red 3/2 dwarf berserker with haste. That's about it. We've seen similar cards, On-Crop Crasher. Other ones, On-Crop Crasher obviously had extra stuff going for it, but this is a limited card. It is this way for limited reasons. Avalanche Caller, this art... No, that art looks like suspiciously familiar. Why do I know that art? Someone in the comments has to know the card I'm thinking about. It's a dude like the same clothing, holding a staff, and like that exact same pose. On a Magic card. It's on a Magic card. I think it's on a black card, but I'm not sure. If you know what this card is, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, Avalanche Caller is a blue 2-mana 1/3 human wizard. Pay 2. Target snowland you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with hexproof and haste until end of turn. It's still a land. They give it hexproof, so it's harder to deal with. It can still be destroyed. 2 mana to do so. It's not bad. You can activate that any number of times. You can do it at instant speed. Doesn't tap the caller to do so. It can only target snowlands, which is fine. Might be fine, actually. Like, might see weird play. Carfell Harbinger is a blue 2-mana 1/3 zombie wizard. Tap, add blue. Spend this mana only to foretell a card from your hand or cast an instant or sorcery spell. Blue is like... Blue has historically been able to make mana and use it to cast either artifacts or instants of sorceries. It's just weird to me that blue does so many things. The only thing that it can't do is destroy creatures. Oh wait, it can exile creatures. But Justin... Actually, it can destroy creatures. But Justin, you're giving them a card. You're giving them like a 3/3 or a 1/1 with flying. You're still destroying a creature. Blue is able to do everything. I guess it, I was going to say it can't destroy enchantments. Ravenform, I don't remember. Is Ravenform artifact? If Ravenform is enchantment, I swear, it just gets even worse. Okay, it's an artifact. Okay, so I guess blue has a hardish time with enchantments. But that's like it, right? Blue can do everything else. I guess technically it doesn't discard alone. Like there's no mono blue discard that I can think of. Regardless, I don't care. Bergstrider. Is this motherfucker smiling at me right now? You've seen what this dude is smiling. I don't like that. 5 mana, blue, 4/4 giant wizard. When Bergstrider enters the battlefield, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls. If snow was spent to cast this spell, that permanent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Frost Titan, this is not. However, it does just like tap your opponent's thing. I don't know. Maybe it's limited playable, but I doubt it. Cyclone Summoner is a 7-mana 7/7 giant wizard. It's blue. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hands, except for giants, wizards, and lands. This is a balanced card. Because it's balanced, I think it's bad. 7 mana, 7/7. You get to bounce essentially none of your stuff and all of your opponent's stuff. Only if you cast it from your hand. Like, I don't think the giant deck wants this. In limited, I think the reason it's rare is because limited, like, you don't want to see multiple of these. You don't want the giant deck to have these consistently. Yeah. Battle of Frost and Fire, aka A Song of Fire and Ice, is a 5-mana blue and red enchantment saga. First one deals 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. Second one, you get to scry 3. And the third one, whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost 5 or greater this turn, draw 2 cards and discard a card. I do like that the front end, the very first part, allows you to pseudo-wipe the board. You get to protect your own giants. Anything beefy enough to contend with a giant does get to stick around, but you don't have to deal with the pesky little ones running around your feet. 5 mana, deal 4 damage to each non-giant creature in each planeswalker. It also straight up just hits planeswalkers. Yeah, and then you get to scry. The scry's not great. The third one, you just cast a spell. You don't even have to resolve the spell. You just cast a spell and you get to loot. Yeah. This is possibly good enough to see play in the Giants deck. I'm not sure. You can definitely play it in Giants Brawl, though. Drauggr's Helm is a 2-mana black equipment. Equip 4. When Drauggr's Helm enters the battlefield, you may pay 3. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie berserker creature token, then attach Drauggr's Helm to it. The equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Menace. So, for 5 mana, you can have a 4/4 with Menace. That leaves around an equipment. This is similar-ish to the Living Weapon cards. I appreciate the fact that Wizards is trying to do more interesting things with equipment. I feel like equipment were stagnant for a long time. Equip creature gets +2/+2 and has Menace. I think the reason the equip cost is so high is because Menace is very strong and limited. And that's like a pretty decent... Like, +2/+2 and Menace seems pretty good. I like the card. It's probably not going to be anything other than a limited player. Wings of the Cosmos. This is fucked up. 1 mana instant, target creature gets +1/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Untap it. I want to read the flavor text. The wolves started to yelp. The wolves. Oh, the wolves. Oh my god. The wolf's startled yelp changed quickly to a howl of elation as she soared over her envious packmates. Just imagine, for a second, that this wolf gets wings out of nowhere. Remember then that this says until end of turn. Imagine then that wolf falling to the fucking ground. Funeral Longboat is a 2-mana 3/3 vehicle with crew 1 and vigilance. Mom, I want Smuggler's Copter. No, we have Smuggler Copters at home. Smuggler's Copter at home. I mean, for what it's worth, it is crew 1. So, like, turn 1, you play a dinky 1/1. Turn 2, you play this. Your opponent can't really attack into it as easily, I guess. Gold Vein Pick is a 2-mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and equip 1. I like this card. It makes treasure. You essentially get a rebate on the equip cost. Right, so like, you pay 2 to play it, you equip it for 1, and then like you deal combat damage to your opponent. Let's say your creature dies, you have that treasure to re-equip it. I think it's cool. Mystic Reflection is a 2-mana instant with Foretell Blue. Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature instead. You do have to choose a non-legendary thing. The reason to do that is so that if your opponent has a legendary thing, you can't just force your opponent to have like all their things enter as that, and like they only get to have one at the end. But if you have a Garbo creature and your opponent casts a planeswalker, you'll say in response, here's my Garbo creature. Let's say, for example, you have a Shark Typhoon token. Let's say it's a 2/2. Your opponent casts a planeswalker. You just Shark Typhoon it. Or you turn it into your Shark Typhoon token. It's cool. Another thing that you can do is proactively use this. So in EDH, you can cast Avenger of Zendikar, With its enter the battlefield trigger on the stack, you cast this, choosing Avenger of Zendikar. So that now, the next time one or more creatures, yeah. So now those creatures will all enter as copies of Avenger of Zendikar, putting triggers on the stack. This is just the next time though, so it only works with one instance. It's not an infinite loop. I did think it was, but it's not. Don't worry. It's still very cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing this in my clone deck. The Bears of Lityara. 3 mana for a Simic Saga. First is create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. Second, any number of target shapeshifters you control have base, power, and toughness 4/4. That ain't end of turn. They just become Core Force. Seems like a headache to track, but I guess. Third, I should say. Choose up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Each creature you control with power 4 or greater deals damage equal to its power to that permanent. So essentially, you make a bear, you buff your bears, and then your bears beat the shit out of something. Wait, is that what happened? Is that what's happening here? These are weird shapeshifter bears beating the crap out of this king? If so, hilarious. We then have a little bit of a respite. Interesting. We have a bit of a brief respite. We'll look at these non-snow basics. Very lovely. Very beautiful. Good old-fashioned stone things. Very lovely mountain. Absolutely lovely Northern Light style effect. Beautiful swamp, honestly. Very lush. I like all the birds in the tree. The dead tree, but still, it's a tree. Battle for Bretgard. Bretgard. 3 mana for a Selesnya Saga. First, create a 1/1 white human warrior creature token. Second, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Third, choose any number of artifact tokens and or creature tokens you control with different names. For each of them, create a token that's a copy of it. It's cool that it counts artifact tokens as well. It means that you can double your sorry, not double. With different names. You can get an additional treasure. It only increases them by 1 and 3 mana. For the issue is that 1/1s are so fragile. 1/1s are so fragile. I don't think this is good. 1/1s are so weak. Like, they'll get hurt so easily, you know? Maybe there's like a green-white... Hey, what's Setessan Champion? Setessan Champion. She's a warrior. Maybe there's something there. You might be wondering why I'm talking so slowly compared to my previous videos. It's because my heart's kind of going a little faster. And I think it's because I've been talking so quickly, and my breathing has been too fast. So I'm slowing down, trying to make sure I don't fucking die. Narfi, Betrayer King. This is a 5 mana, Dimir, 4/3 zombie wizard. Other snow and zombie creatures you control get +1/+1. Triple snow, return Narfi Betrayer King from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I absolutely love this card. It's a zombie, it's a lord, it can reanimate itself. What's not to love? Now, the issue, of course, is the fact that 3 snow mana may be harder to do than 3 black mana. It really depends. I mean, he's going to be fun to play in Brawl. Snow Zombie Brawl. It just seems like a lot of fun. Is this playable in Standard? Possibly. Or not Standard, sorry, Historic. Because you have Stitcher Supplier, Mire Triton, the 3 mana bird, the zombie bird. It's like a 1/3 flyer or something like that. You have those. You have Timurit Calls the Dead. And then you just play, you know, things like Liliana's and removal. Maybe a couple other lords. And you play Nerfy. You have a zombie lord that can keep coming back. For example, like on turn 1, you could play Sigil Supplier. On turn 2, you could play Mire Triton. On turn 3, you could just play this from the graveyard. And buff your 2 creatures. Seems pretty cool. I'm definitely going to try it out. Seems pretty cool. Clarion Spirit. Cool art. Very cool art. 2 mana for a 2/2 spirit. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token flying. Cool card. Definitely a cool card. I do like the 2 mana 2/2s in white that give you a 1/1 token, depending on what you do. So we've seen that with the hero for casting a multicolored spell. We've seen that with, I don't even remember the name of the knight, but it's a knight card that gives you something for casting knights. I think it gives you a human token. And now there's this. It's cool. I like to see Wizards continue to have this style of card. This card specifically, it really depends on your second spell. Maybe I was looking at the second spell thing all wrong, because I was considering the second spell thing for like a slower deck, but maybe the second spell thing is for aggro. Like on turn 3, you cast Clarion Spirit, and the 1-drop that gives a creature a +1/+1 counter. Like maybe that's where you do it. Like second spell, White Weenie. Someone remind me of that. I think second spell White Weenie might be a thing. Agar the Freezing Flame. I think I talked about this card. I want to say I talked about this card, but I'm really not sure. 3 mana 3/3 is it Giant Wizard. Whenever a creature planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess damage, if a giant wizard or spell you control dealt that damage to it this turn, draw a card. I think I've talked about this. Regardless, I think this is just a really cool effect. Yeah, it's a really cool effect. It worked really nicely with the giants. It's also a 3 mana. It's a 3 mana giant, which is actually good because it means you're going to be able to get your like other giant effects down. Like you get to have this before your other giants. Furja's Retribution. I don't know how to pronounce that. Furja's Retribution. Here it is, baby. Here's the good stuff. 1 dub white black for an Orzhov saga. First, create a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. Second, until end of turn, angels you control gain tap, destroy target creature with less power than this creature. 3, angels you control gain double strike until end of turn. This card is really cool. This card is really, really cool. 4 mana for 4/4 angel that does other things. Now you might be saying, but I thought the other card you didn't like because of the... Okay, I heard a loud noise. Because of the fact that it makes 4/4s. This doesn't only make 4/4s. The first thing it does is make a 4/4. And then you get to yeet something. And since it makes a vigilant angel, you get to attack them and then yeet something. And of course, you can get your angels double strike. This is just a really, really cool card. I really like this. Orzhov Angels. Do you play this in Doom Foretold? Probably not. Maybe. 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 But probably not. Notvold Recluse is a 3 mana 4/2 spider with reach. It's just giant spider in reverse. It's also fucking horrifying. Frostpeak Yeti is a 4 mana 3/3 snow creature. It's blue. 1 and a snow. Frostpeak Yeti can't be blocked this turn. Gross. It's kind of graphic, but you know, it's a Yeti. It's creepy. Carfell Camelmaster. I don't like how much skin the Draugr still have. Like, they're all dead, but they're like normal fleshy, and it freaks me out. 5 mana for a 4/4 zombie berserker. It's black. When it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures each gain +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. Cool. You get to attack with something. Wait, is this dude's sword floating as well? Okay, that's pretty sick, actually. Oh, he must be in Bretgard. I was wondering why the hell he was in like an open field. He must be in Bretgard. And then this version, as you can see, is like very blurry. That's why I'm not using it. I'm using this one. Oh, it's her shield. Cool. I didn't know that. Rydane, God of the Worthy. 3 mana for a legendary creature god. She's a 2/3. Flying, Vigilance. Snow lands your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. Snow hate, sure. Non-creature spells your opponent's cast with converted mana cost 4 or more, cost 2 more to cast. She's like Thalia, but she doesn't work on the small spells. I don't love the fact that she doesn't work on the small spells. Frankly, if my opponent... I don't care as much about the snow hate. I'd prefer it if it said, like, non-creature spells your opponent's control with CMC less than 4 cost 1 more, and then when they are 4, they cost 2 more. I'd rather see that. But as is, she's good. The issue is that she's in the 3-drop slot. Death and Taxes has an issue with 3-drop. We have too many. She is legendary, but that issue is mitigated because of the fact that, 1, she is not symmetrical. She does not make our spells that cost 4 or more cost 2 more to cast. That is incredibly important to note. Thalia is symmetrical, this is not. So what it means is that if I top deck another one of her while she's still on the field, I can very easily just play the shield. I didn't mean to rhyme that. 4 mana, legendary artifact. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent 1 of that damage. Just wholesale prevent 1 of that damage. It means your opponent's lightning strikes are much worse. Their shocks are garbage. This includes creatures, so it makes creature combat even easier for you. Their planeswalkers don't do good stuff. It's nice. Whenever you or another permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless its controller pays 1. It's essentially the Thalia attacks here, except only when they're targeting your things. Taken together, I like the card. I think the fact that it's flexible is quite nice, and I'm definitely going to try it out in Death and Taxes. Additionally, the fact that if you play the Protector Shield, and later you need Rydane, you can flicker the shield if you have a way to do so, and have it be the creature. That is a plus. I like the card. I like the card. I'm gonna try it out. My main issue, of course, is just the fact that it's damn hard to have good room. Something that people did mention that I think is important to note is the fact that with Rydane out, you do have board wipe protection. Right, on turn 3, you play Rydane, and your opponent's board wipe, if it costs 4 mana, obviously, now costs 6. If you're playing against control, this card is probably going to be crippling, especially if you're following up. Like, if you go Thalia into this, your opponent should just concede. Right, they are so screwed. Their Nisses, or their Teferis now cost 8. Right. Their Ugins cost 13. I can't do math. Why did I say that? I meant 11. Shut up. Right. It's just fucking hilarious, and I'm excited for it. But that's it for today's video, or this video. I don't know. I have a PO box. Send me things. It's funny. I was gonna record the rest of the things, but I can't. I think I have to stop recording for today. I gotta chillax. Anyway. I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Fogwin, Malik, and Balater, for the continued support. If you'd like to join them, support the show. You'll find links in the description down below. Do, of course, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And, of course, until next time, all will be one.